Hello and welcome to Sports Today. My name is Rohit Mundiur and I will be talking about yesterday's football matches between India and Afghanistan, and then later on the Euro matches between Portugal and Hungary and Germany and France. Let's start with the Indians first. India drew 1-1 with Afghanistan yesterday in the Asian Cup qualifiers, which is also the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Obviously, India were completely out of contention for the FIFA World Cup by this point itself. And with this 1-1 draw, they basically go through to the next round of the Asian Cup qualifiers, which starts in November. The same remains for Afghanistan. So it's sort of a win-win for both teams, although Indians would not be too happy with that result. This means that in the 8 matches that they have played so far in this round of the qualifiers, they have won only once, and that was the victory that they managed in their previous match against Bangladesh. Let's go. Let's go with the step by step. India actually gave Afghanistan too much of the ball than they would have liked. Afghanistan, of course, are ranked 44 places below them on the FIFA table, so India would have hoped to be the team with more possession. Igor Simic actually went for a back 4 instead of a back 3, which is what he had gone for in the Bangladesh match, if you remember. But India were guilty of giving away the ball too many times when they got into the Afghanistan half, which is something that they are guilty of doing generally, something that Captain Sunil Chhetri himself admitted, if you remember. Because of which Afghanistan are a team that knows how to press. They are very intelligent with their press. They pass the ball very well. They are sort of comfortable with the ball, really. Because of which they actually did cause the Indians quite a lot of problems for most of the match. And India could not really break down the Afghanistan defense until the 75th minute, which it was less of India's efforts and more of a mistake from the Afghanistan goalkeeper that led to the first goal in the 75th minute. Ashik Kurunian sent in a cross, and the Afghanis would have been kind of happy to see that their goalkeeper is coming out to collect it, but then instead of actually collecting it, he turned it into his own goal. Quite a bizarre own goal to give India the lead. But then a few minutes later, their teenage sensation Hossein Zamani actually turned it around for them. In the 82nd minute, he scored Afghanistan's lone goal of the night to make it 1-1. And then after that, that's how the match ended. It was a 1-1 draw. And India basically went through to the next round on the basis of that. Certainly a bittersweet campaign this has been for the Indians, considering the fact that the old mistakes, the old problems of the Indian team remained in the way that they could not really string too many passes together in the opposition half. But then this has been a very strong defensive display. They managed to get 2 draws, a draw and a 1-0 loss against Qatar, which is obviously a great result for them. No doubt about that, considering Qatar are the highest high-scoring team. Sandesh Jingan also said in between that they are sort of arrogant now with their defense. They know that they are so good with their defense that they're sort of arrogant. They are confident with their defense. So that's progress. And also, of course, you have to consider the fact that India have not been able to play too many times. Apart from the ISL that has happened, these Indian players have not played. They were not playing for almost 2 months before the start of these round of qualification matches in Doha. All right, then. So let's move on to Europe. First to Hungary, where Portugal faced Hungary in Budapest at the Puskás Arena. It was a 3-0 win for Portugal, but then the scoreline is sort of deceptive because it was not that one-sided a match. The possession-wise, yeah, it was, but then Portugal were a frustrated lot by the time the 85th minute came along because of the fact that there was 82nd minute rather, because of the fact that they just could not find a way past Hungary. Hungary were a very determined defensive unit. Portugal, with all their attacking talent, Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafael Guerreiro, whoever you can think of, they just could not find a way past until it was Guerreiro who gave them the lead in the 84th minute, the Borussia Dortmund fullback. And then, of course, after that, in the 87th minute, basically, Portugal got a penalty. And, well, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo turns in penalties no matter what. So he did what he did best and gave them a 2-0 lead. And then just about 2 minutes before full time, sort of a minute into stoppage time, Ronaldo scored the 3rd goal. Now, with those 2 goals, Ronaldo basically became the all-time highest goal scorer in the history of the European Championships. He was basically level with France great Michel Platini on 9 goals at the start of this match, and now it has taken his tally to 11 goals. This is also the 11th consecutive competition, international competition, in which Ronaldo has scored a goal. Well, you are bound to see a lot more Ronaldo stats like these, I guess, as the tournament goes along. He's at that age. He's scored. He's accumulated so many goals that he's at that age now where anything he does might end up breaking some record or the other. All right, the second match of the day, of course, the blockbuster match of the Euros, France versus Germany, a match between two proper heavyweights. It turned out to be France's day, of course. Germany had more of the possession, but it was France who won 1-0. And to be honest, that could have been worse than that for Germany if it wasn't for two offside goals for Mbappe and Karim Benzema. Mats Hummels, who was quite brilliant throughout the match, he did well to keep Mbappe down, but then he was the guy who scored the goal, who gave France the goal, basically. It was a cross that came in from Lucas Hernandez, the fullback, the France fullback, the Bayern Munich fullback, and Hummels ended up turning it into his own net. He had to get some sort of a touch on it because there was Mbappe beside him. So if he did not, if he left the goal alone, Mbappe would have had a nice little tap in that even Manuel Neuer would not have been able to save that. Instead of actually clearing it, he ended up turning it into his own goal. That was in the 20th minute. France were leading 1-0 in the 20th minute. And after that, Germany kept hold of the ball. As I said, they had more possession, but France were pretty solid with their defense. Of course, N'Golo Kante had a lot to say about that, just snuffing out any danger that came along when Germany had the ball, and France were pretty quick with the counter-attack, of course. Antoine Griezmann, in fact, was actually more active in interceptions and defensive sort of roles than in a creative role. The one time he did actually participate in a creative setup was actually later on in the match, and somewhere around the 84th minute, which eventually led to Pogba freeing up Mbappe squaring it to Karim Benzema, and then Benzema scoring the goal. What would have been his first goal finally in a major competition for France since his return, but then that was declared as offside. And just before that as well, Mbappe scored an absolutely brilliant goal, sort of similar to the kind of goal that he had scored against Bayern in Bayern Munich in the Champions League. But then that also turned out to be offside, and that was in the 66th minute. Right then, so a big win for a very important win for France, and Germany might just be a little bit insecure now because of this, because Germany, Portugal, Hungary, and France is that group. It's a proper group of death. And because Portugal now have a 3-0 win in their pocket, that's a good goal difference that they have. So, that's the way Euros and World Cups work. Any one loss in the group stage, and that could be enough to seal your fate. So Germany would be a little bit insecure about their chances. Let's look forward now. Today at 6:30 p.m. Indian time, Finland will be facing Russia. And then later on at 9:30 p.m., Turkey will be facing Wales. And then at 12:30 a.m., we'll see the Italians, Italy, will be facing Switzerland. Do stay tuned. We'll be providing you updates from all those matches. Do tell us in the comments what you thought about yesterday's matches, what you thought about the progress that the Indian football team has been making under Igor's team match. Thanks for watching. Like and share this video and subscribe to Sports Today.